it's Betsy from Cuttin Corners Vinyl in Nederland, Texas, and today we have a fun and informative video, and it's all over shipping. Now, some of you may or may not know, I am in a lot of groups on Facebook that deals with sellers and buyers and dealing with small businesses, and it seems like there is some confusion out there on both sides over what each person is responsible for. So, I figured we would put everything together in one spot over my experience because, I've been doing this a while, and kind of put my 2 cents in, throw my hat into the ring, and, give my opinion. Now, if I miss anything, comment it down below. But this is kind of a comprehensive list that I discussed and tried to figure out to make sure I didn't miss anything, but I can't promise you anything. And if you like this video, don't forget to give it a big thumbs up and share it. If you find it informative, share it with your small business owner friends, because we all know that customer service can either make or break your business. So, before we jump in, I did want to remind you that the weekly WOW sale this week is 50% off all of our SVGs. Now that sale ends on May the 16th of 2021 at 12 a.m. Central Standard Time. So right on that cusp in between the 16th and 17th. So I've got a list. If you see me looking down, it is me checking my list, making sure I'm not getting anything wrong. So number 1. If you send the wrong item to a customer, so say someone orders a small shirt and you accidentally send a large, you are well within your rights to ask for a photo to make sure that you did send the wrong thing. And if you find out that you sent the wrong thing, you need to reship immediately. And as it comes to the wrong item, 1, you either let them keep the wrong item, depending on cost, that type of thing. Or if you want them to reship it back to you, you need to provide a prepaid shipping label and mailing materials. So say if you sent the shirt in a poly mailer, if they need to send it back to you, they need to have another poly mailer for it. You should not expect your customer to have to put out money or a lot of time for your mistake, period. And that also helps with customer retention. Okay, number 2, if a customer has a shipping question, be as responsive as possible. So if a customer is looking at ordering something from your website, from your Facebook page, your Etsy shop, even if you have policies available for them to look at, it's still good for you to respond quickly and let them know personally what your policies are, because it never hurts anything and it builds a rapport. Answering questions is never a bad thing. I try to do it as much and as quickly as possible. And not everything we get sent goes straight to our inbox. Sometimes things get filtered through like junk and promotions, but we do try to answer things as quickly as possible because, again, customer service. Number 3, if you send the wrong order completely to a customer, don't expect them to fix your mistake. So the other day I was in one of my groups and I saw someone, she was reporting a customer because she orders things wholesale. The customer ordered 2 blankets, ended up getting 3, contacted the seller, and the seller was like, yeah, I'll give you the other customer's address if you can ship it to them, and then I'll pay you back for shipping. No, ma'am. That is not how that goes. 1, you don't ever expect your customer to ship to another one of your customers. You don't give out personal information like that. If your customer wanted their information given out, then they would have ordered it from the other person. 2, you don't know the condition of someone's home. You don't know if they're a smoker. You don't know if they have pets. You don't know if they've got something else going on. So if that case happens, 1, you again need to send a prepaid mailing slip and something to package it in if they can't reuse their box. And that's typically for if you do poly mailers. And 2, have them ship it back to you, and then you can assess the situation if you can forward it on to your other customer. But it is not your customer's job to do your job, period. And again, this is very, very important, you know, so you can either let them keep it and then contact the other customer and get their item taken care of, but it is not their job to ship items to customers for you. Period. No ifs, ands, or buts. And if you want them to ship something back to you, you need to provide the mailings, the prepaid mailing stuff, because there is no reason for a customer to have to go out of their way to, you know, because part of the thing too is there are a lot of people who live in rural areas that the post office doesn't come pick up mail. So they may only go into town once a month. You have to be okay with this, because again, this is your mistake, not theirs. Number 4, if your customer isn't seeing movement with tracking, it is your responsibility to check it out. So like yesterday, I had a customer message me. She ordered an item on April the 23rd. We shipped it on March the 24th. On the tracking information, it showed that it was accepted at the post office, but there was no movement in between. So to make sure that item hadn't got lost in the mail, because you know, today is the 2-week time period for first class, so we wanted to make sure. I contacted my local postmaster, and then today it showed movement and showed that it was going to be delivered. But you shouldn't expect your customer to track that down. And yes, you can tell people that, hey, things are taking a little bit longer, be patient, USPS is overwhelmed, they're not always updating tracking. If something is over like your time period and there's no updates and you can't find out information, you know, that's part of it. Okay, number 5, if this is very important, be very open with your customer about your shipping policies. So if you have processing time, so if you're a small business, a lot of times, depending on the amount of orders that you get, you may not be able to ship things the same day that you get an order. A lot of times for us, we can't do this. But on our website, we have that it says 2 to 3 days to process. Then you choose your shipping option. So people know how long they can expect their order to sit there before it gets shipped out. So again, shipping policies up front, very, very important. Number 6, this is an important one. If you're taking pre-orders, overestimate the time it will take to get to people. So say you make custom shirts and you're taking pre-orders on this adorable design. And you estimate that if 100 people order this shirt, it will take you 4 weeks to complete them. Okay? You need to add in extra time just in case, well, what if the supplier runs out of shirts and you have to try to hunt down more? What if there's a problem with vinyl or ink or anything like that? So you need to overestimate just in case. What if someone gets sick? If you're a one-person show, these things you need to be mindful of, because part of the thing is people hate late but love it when it comes early. So if you can exceed their expectations, you're likely to retain a customer. So that's extremely important. Number 7, this one's more for the customers. As a customer, double check your shipping info. If you input the wrong information, that's on you and not the seller. The reason why I say this is I had a customer who lives here in the United States. She input the wrong information when she ordered and input that she lived internationally. We shipped it to the address that was in the system because we can't, for insurance purposes and things like that, for shipping, we can't change what the seller inputs. That's part of the way we cover our heinies if something goes wrong. She contacts us about a month after the item was shipped out and was like, hey, where's my stuff? We went and did the research and we're like, hey, you had this shipped overseas, but you don't live overseas. There's not much we can do at this point. We can hope that once it reaches customs, that they'll send it back to us. But until then, there's not much we can do. She was upset. She filed a PayPal claim. PayPal sided with us because, again, we didn't input the wrong info. We sent it exactly where she put that she was supposed to send it, you know. So slow down, double check your stuff. It never hurts to double and triple check your addresses because it helps everybody on all sides. Okay, number 9, if problems arise, let customers know in a timely manner. Things can happen all the time when you're running a small business. Like you have stock of stuff and then like if your inventory system messes up or some item goes missing or, you know, anything like that can happen. And say that your customer orders 50 of this one thing and you only have 40. You contact the customer to let them know this, that you can either ship the rest at this time, you can refund, or they can change it to something else. It's that simple. But upfront communication, don't try to beat around the bush and wait for things to change because, again, if your shipping policy is out there and updated, you need to stick to your own guidelines. You can't expect customers to understand your shipping policies if you don't either. And number 10, which is last but certainly not least, is remember that we are all human and make mistakes. So it can happen on either end. So if a customer, so on my end, if they've input the wrong shipping info and they let me know before it leaves, I can cancel that order so they can reship. I can let them change their address on that order before we ship it. You know, those types of options. So that way we make sure they get their correct stuff. Without, you know, blaming the customer, because again, we all make mistakes. If my USPS lady, they come and do pickups daily for our packages, doesn't scan an item, it does me no good to sit there and get angry at her because we're all human, we all make mistakes. And right now, the world is just in utter disarray in a lot of things. So remembering to be kind and nice is never a bad thing. And these are my rules that we go by. You know, we try to keep everybody informed, updated. I think those are some of the most important things. You know, communication from both sides is extremely key. But I guess that's it. Remember, if you like this video, don't forget to give it a big thumbs up. If you find this information helpful, share it with your business owner friends. That helps me out. Don't forget to make sure you're subscribed. Right down below, if you turn on the notification bell, that will notify you when I post new videos, which is every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. And then Tuesdays at 5 p.m. Central Standard Time, we do a live. But I guess that's it. So we'll see y'all later. Bye.